Every business book tells you the same bedtime story. Companies die because they stop innovating. They get comfortable, they defend the old thing, the world moves and they go under. Here is a company that nearly died of the opposite. By 2004, Lego, the most beloved toy brand on Earth, had posted the largest loss in its history. And it got there by innovating relentlessly. Theme parks, television, video games, a girl's jewelry line, action figures with no bricks in them at all, and thousands of exotic new pieces that existed in exactly one set. It was saved by a 35-year-old outsider whose radical, career-risking idea was to retreat. This is the story of how the world's most creative company almost innovated itself out of existence, and what it took to pull back. You'll meet the owner who admitted he was the problem, the young consultant who told a family-owned institution the truth, the numbers nobody wanted to look at, and the moment retreat became the bravest available move. And at the end, the play. Understand first that nothing was wrong with Lego reputation. Parents trusted it. Children wanted it. The brick was, and is, one of the best designed objects of the 20th century. But through the late 90s and early 2000s, the company decided that being a brick company was too small a thing to be. So it became a theme park operator, a television producer, a video game publisher, a clothing brand, a maker of jewelry kits for girls, and of action figures you posed rather than built. Each of those decisions had a reasonable case behind it. Together, they produced a company that no longer knew what it was. Now the numbers, and they are worse than the story usually admits. In 2003, Lego ran a deficit of around 1.5 billion Danish kroner. The following year, 2004, it posted the biggest loss in its history, roughly 1.9 billion kroner on a turnover of about 8 billion. A company that size does not absorb that twice. Lego survived it for one reason only. It was privately held by the founding family, so there were no public shareholders to force its hand. Not because it was comfortable. There was a real risk of breaching its covenants, and of the family losing control of the company its grandfather built. Then someone finally ran the analysis nobody wanted. Roughly 94% of the product portfolio was unprofitable. Essentially, two lines were carrying the entire company. Star Wars, which was licensed, and Bionicle. Everything else, Galador, Jack Stone, Zenap, Clickets, Scala, Explore, was collectively a very expensive way to lose money creatively. And underneath, the failed product line sat a subtler problem, the one that actually does the killing. Every new set brought new pieces. A special hinge here, a bespoke molded face there, a curve that appeared in one model and never again. Designers were free, genuinely, admirably free, to invent whatever a set needed. The number of distinct Lego elements roughly doubled, from around 6,000 in the late 90s to more than 12,000 by the peak. Each of those needs its own steel mold, costing real money, its own inventory line, its own place in a warehouse, a forecast, a supply chain. Creative freedom at the design desk became, invisibly, an enormous fixed cost at the factory. Nobody had put a price on it. That is the thing about complexity. It never arrives as a decision. It accumulates. In 2001, Lego hired a young Danish ex-McKinsey consultant named Jørgen Vig Knudstorp. In October 2004, at 35, he was made chief executive, the first person from outside the founding family to run the company in decades. He did not arrive with a growth plan. He arrived with a diagnosis, and he reportedly told his management they were standing on a burning platform. But the more remarkable decision belongs to someone else. Kjeld Kirk Christiansen, the grandson of the founder, the owner, the man whose family name was on the box, concluded that the company needed to be run by someone who was not him. He handed it to a 35-year-old, and he put roughly 800 million kroner of his own money in behind him. Founders rarely do that. Most defend the strategy that carries their name. This one funded the person hired to reverse it. What followed was not a bold new direction. It was subtraction, executed without sentiment. The The portfolio was cut back toward the core. The element library was roughly halved. Designers were now required to build from a shared, disciplined palette instead of inventing freely. Costs came down hard, and manufacturing was relocated. And in July 2005, LEGO sold the thing that looked most like ambition. The Legoland parks went to Blackstone for around €375 million, with LEGO keeping a minority stake of roughly 30%. The parks were folded into what became Merlin Entertainments, a toy company selling its own theme parks reads like defeat. It was the opposite. It was a company deciding what it was not. By 2005 and 2006, LEGO was profitable again. And it is worth being precise about why, because the tidy version of this story is wrong. It was not one heroic idea. It was focus, plus brutal cost and complexity discipline, plus intelligent licensing, plus selling the parks, an ensemble of unglamorous decisions taken at once. Then something happens that makes this more than a cost-cutting story. By 2014 and 2015, LEGO had become the largest toy maker in the world by revenue, roughly $2.1 billion against Mattel's $1.9, helped enormously by the LEGO Movie in 2014. Look at what that list contains: a film, video games, licensed universes, sets aimed at adults, some of the most inventive products the company has ever made, which means the lesson is emphatically not innovation is dangerous. LEGO innovated its way to the top of the industry. It just did it after it had a core strong enough to innovate from, and a palette disciplined enough to do it profitably. The company did not stop being creative. It stopped being creative in every direction at once. So here's the play. When you're drowning, innovation is not the lifeboat. Clarity is. New things feel like progress, which is exactly what makes them dangerous in a crisis. Every new line, feature, or market is a claim on attention and cash that your core hasn't earned yet. Master the core first. Earn the right to explore. And notice where LEGO real cost was hiding. Not in the famous failures, in the 12,000 parts. The invisible, uncounted complexity that accumulated one reasonable decision at a time. Because nobody was ever asked to approve it. So go and count yours. The product lines nobody defends. The features one customer uses. The special case in the code that exists for a deal you signed in 2019. None of it looks like a problem individually. Together, it is the thing quietly setting the price of everything you do.